Welcome back to Breaking Bread. Today we are going to talk about our first assignment deal, our wholesale deal as partners. I got two of my partners here with me today. We're just going to give our opinion, our perspective about how we came across this deal, and just basically give you the breakdown of how we got 11K. Yes, people, you hear it from me, 11K, a wholesale assignment deal. So we're going to definitely chop it up with you guys, give our breakdown, our opinion about the deal. So for no further ado, bring my partners in. What's up, man?
What's going on, man?
Can't wait to bust it up with y'all about this, man.
Yeah.
So I got my guys
What's going on?
introduced from my left, my guy.
Name is Corey.
Then
Kareem.
Kareem. So, all right. So, obviously, we're a trio, African American guys. We out here busting our butt.
Definitely.
We still got regular 9-to-5s. Still working hard, to build our wholesale team and from transition from that to fix and flip. We're going to basically talk to you guys about our 11K deal, how we came about it, what we did, and, tops out to some of the gurus out there where nobody grew. We just give them what we did and what worked for us.
Right.
Corey, how did you basically talk to when we got this deal? You pretty much did the initial contact with the seller.
Right.
How that came about? Kind of give them a little bit of how that conversation went.
Conversation went smooth. Inquired about the property. Owner was like, hey, we're going through a little tough time right now, dealing with a family member that passed. And I was respectful about that. Told them, once you have the opportunity, we would like for you to come back, talk to us, and that we can almost guarantee to get the property off for you. So, actually, a month passed, a little bit past a month passed, and came back around to us. We were the first people we came back around to, and the only people we came back around to. So, so we beat out other wholesalers and we beat out realtors, because this could have easily been put on the MLS,
Yes.
and things like that. But working with the people that we work with, man, that conversation went smooth. It couldn't have went any smooth. I asked them the general questions, any liens. What's any updates done to the property? What else did we ask them?
How old was roof?
How old was roof?
Kitchen
in
up
the
there.
Yeah. So we asked them. I asked them all those general questions, and the owner was transparent. A key thing that a lot of owners aren't transparent. Actually, luckily, lately a lot of the owners have been transparent about the repairs and things like that. So that's just one thing that was great about this conversation. Like, the owner was transparent, letting me know what was done to the house, what was in the house, because as you've seen, there was a lot of things that were still in the house, but it wasn't junky. So for those people that do walk into those houses, me and Kareem have definitely dived into a sea of basements.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, man, the conversation was smooth, right?
So a little bit background on that property. Like I said, how we came about it was actually a state property. Like you said, that it was the owner's sister that we came across. We spoke. She basically gave it the control to her husband. We kind of had a conversation. Corey had a conversation with her husband. Kind of gave the breakdown about his sister-in-law passing on. So we, did our waiting period, and he got in contact with us and gave us the first dibs on this property. Also, we came about by it. The contact information actually came by a mailman. So people, yes, mailman still works. Mailman marketing, mailman. Yes. Get your bird dog list on, because we came across him. Actually came across him. And I just let him know that I was, investing, buy a house cash. And he was like, okay, I got somebody. He came back a couple of days later with the business card, I was busy at the time, passing on Corey. He made the initial contact, and so now to you, Kareem, you pretty much went out to assess the property the first time. How did that go when you spoke with them, and how did you kind of handle that?
Okay, when we went to see the property, how can I say it? It didn't seem like it would need as much work as they originally, advertised. But what happened was we made our offer based on what we saw, and it turned out that when our buyers would have to deal with it, more money would have to get put in. There were more things they'd want to fix. For example, the walls, right? The walls were fine, but our buyers they all insisted that they change, that they upgrade the walls and things like that. So that's where things got a little tricky, because when we made our offer, it came in a bit too high. So we had to figure a workaround for that. But everything else, like Rob said, there was a whole bunch of collectibles, things if we had more time, we would have probably tried to sell. We could have made some extra. That's another thing too you guys can do. We can, if you find like air conditioners or like beds, appliances, and you can sell it, or if you have your own clean out company, you can do it yourself,
So what was this house? Was it the listing? Like, was it a 3 and 2, 1 and 2? Like, how did they break it down? Give them a little bit of context on how the house was kind of like, you talk about, our buyers looking at the walls and stuff. So was it more of a, duplex, triplex? Was it 3 and 2? Like, how was it when you first walked through?
It was a duplex. Originally, the seller told us it was 2 1-bed, 1-baths. And when we saw it, it turned out it was a 2-bed. Upstairs was a 2-bed, 1-bath. And downstairs was a 1-bed, 1-bath. So that changed the game a little bit, not too much, nothing crazy. But what else? They wanted to get some tenants in there. They didn't get around to it, so the place was vacant. So it was a vacant duplex in Elkins Park, Pennsylvania. That's a up and coming neighborhood right now. ARVs around there were about in the 3s, low 3s, just climbing above the 3s. And we got it for basically half the price. We got it for about $150, and we could have got it for even less. We could have got it for even less. So I think that's about it as far as configurations and layouts. We have.
So this and I think what Kareem forgot to mention was it had a garage attached to it. So that was the selling part. So that right there, that garage. Yeah. So as Kareem was saying, it was a duplex, 1 and 1, 1 bedroom, 1 bath, upstairs, downstairs, and the garage actually was already. I guess the owner was kind of working on sectioning it off, so it could have turned into a 1-bedroom efficiency, to be honest with you guys. So this property had a lot of potential. As Kareem said, the ARV was up in like the low 3s, around like 315, 320-ish. So we made our offer. They accepted at 150. So we went back, and now our job was to, find buyers. So what did we officially agreed upon as a group, Corey, that we was going to list it back for the buyers?
Was it 175?
175.
So we listed back at 175, and we put it out there. We put it out there to anybody that we knew were purchasing homes. I specifically thought of people that wanted to put people into that wanted to maximize their money on putting people into or flipping a duplex. So I really dug deep into that list right there of those type of folks. And got some people to come out, come see the property, made some offers. And like we say before, some people were like, okay, hey, it was too high. Some people were like, all right, we can work with it. So, and right person bought it.
So before they got to the buying stage, right? And Corey talked about the buyers. So now I'm gonna punt it back to Kareem.
Gotcha.
Right. So now Kareem. So we put in the offer to the seller. They accepted at 150. We listed back at 175, as he said. We had a bunch of buyers came through, look at it. So we didn't really start market it until January 3rd.
Right.
So Kareem, go ahead. Let them know about how that went about. How we got the keys, got the lockbox on it, and then we start doing the marketing part.
Okay. So the seller, I think he was on vacation at the time.
Yep.
Yeah.
So the seller went on vacation after we locked it up, I believe, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
So we locked it up. He goes on vacation. So we weren't able to get the lockbox from him until he got back. So
The keys.
I'm sorry.
Yep.
So we had like a week waiting period, and in that waiting period, I think we like pre-marketed it to some people that we had in our pocket.
Our pocket buyers.
Yeah. And we pre-marketed it to them, and after he got back and we got the lockbox, we let them see it. They came by, they made their offers, you know how that goes. So ultimately, it didn't work out at that stage. So what we had to do was we then started marketing it online, and I mean, we just did what we do. We just posted it on the socials. We saw what we got. We got some more people. Clearly, that meant our numbers were good.
Yeah.
So we got some more people, and ultimately, what ended up happening is we ended up working with a buyer with whom we already have a relationship.
Yes.
So we worked with him, and again, this is like our third property with him.
Yes.
And this is the third time he agreed. So we got something going on with him.
Yes.
Anytime we call him, he's ready to come down and see it.
Right.
So he came down, he saw it, he made his offer. It wasn't exactly what we were looking for, but it was still the highest, that we got. So I guess we just went with that. We just went with him, and which was good because it furthers our relationship with him. So more than likely he's looking for number 4.
So go ahead.
Man, interject. So our buyer, he didn't put the highest offer in. The highest offer ended up being a fellow wholesaler who was going to try to undercut us.
Oh,
But at the same time, with that being said, there's nothing wrong with working with someone. Just be transparent.
Right.
If you want a piece of the pie, just say so. You never know, man. I've learned this from Rob. You never know until you ask. So, if that wholesaler would have been like, "Hey, my guy, look, I think we can get a higher portion for it, where we're all suffice with the portion that we'll split up equally between him and his partner and us." So, if he would have approached it like that, it'd have been different. But Rob started scratching. So I used the line from Ray, "Scratch a lie, find a thief." So Rob was like, okay, so well, how are you guys getting the money, and why would it take this long for the money if you're a cash buyer and things like that? And we asked the question, and it was like, they started beating around the bush with the answers.
Yeah.
And it was like, you know what? Nah. So we'll go with the next best offer. And that was with our main guy. Again, and it's not deterring them for ever working with us again and things like that, but transparency. That's one thing that, as us three, or like Rob will point out, it's like there's a lot of sharks.
Yes.
There's a lot of people that they're just about themselves.
Yes.
They're not going to try to be like, hey, let's eat together.
Yeah.
Like, hey, look, you can take this crumb or take no crumbs, and I'll take this meal.
Yeah.
But we're about, and it's gonna benefit us in the long run. That we're about transparency, and we're about growth, and we're about working with other people when it's the right time.
So as you getting started, folks, we heard a little bit of good, we heard a little bit of bad. So as kind of piggyback on what Corey's saying, it's sharks out there. It's, as Kareem has said, we went on, Facebook Marketplace and marketed the property on there. A lot of people on Facebook Marketplace that you're gonna find out is, especially buyers, quote unquote buyers, that you're gonna see on there is a lot of wholesalers, to be honest.
Sure.
So please do your due diligence. Please do your work to really find out. So, some small things that we kind of, for newer people that's out there, we spend money on. So it was actually like a $75 fee for the county to come out to do inspection in this particular county, this particular area. So we had to pay that fee. We did cover our finder's fee to the mail guy. So that was a little fee that came out, which was like $500. He's so inspired, jacked up now. Like, yo, guys, I got you guys. I already got a couple. Give me a couple days. I'm gonna get back to you. Guess what? I'm ready. So those are little stuff that we did. Outside of just kind of how we market. Honestly, we didn't really did any big market except for Facebook Market. Went on Facebook Market and did marketing through there, and regular emails and texts to some of our local buyer. The buyer that they said we've been working with this buyer. That's why it's nice to have pocket buyers that they could see your deals first, and you could basically count on them. Yes, it is. In this game with that much money, like I said, 11K, it get a little nerve wracking, and it's character building, honestly, of like, am I going to trust this person or is this person going to trust us at the end of the day? So we're going to talk about now, shifting a little bit. We're going to talk about closing, how closing went, and what kind of transpired, a little bit of closing. Matter of fact, before I go to closing, Corey and I actually reached out to the actual buyer, the end buyer. And we was on three-way with him because the offer he made, we was trying to, like, once again, we was reselling it back for $175. We accepted, we purchased, we accepted an offer from the seller at $150. So we was trying to get a $25K profit between there. So what that conversation was with me and him, we called him. I was like, listen, man, can you meet us 165? He's like, no, not really. So you always got to be negotiating.
Right. They're
always going to be negotiating. Stay firm to your belief. Stay firm to your numbers, and you can squeeze out. So we end up. I think he offered what at initial one.
He offered like 150, didn't he?
150 initially. So he wanted what we was going to give the seller. Yeah. What the seller we offered seller.
Right.
So we end up getting him at 160. And then I was trying to get him at least 2 or 3 more K. Getting 1 more K out of it.
Right. Yeah.
So please just stay true to what you're doing.
Yeah.
You can get it. Know your numbers. Know your ARV. Know the ARV is top notch. And honestly, know your repair costs. If you don't have a contract or a repair cost sheet to go through, or some of these people got the deal analyzer that you can put those numbers in, at least have those so you can have that confidence going in. We had that confidence. I have an eye, they have an eye for repair costs because we've been through so many so far. And once again, it's just been an up and down. Is wholesaling still alive? Yes. It take work though. So once again, transition back into now the closing. So closing was a little bit sketchy as well. So closing was initially set up for February 4th. Once again, we got these people on the contract, December after Christmas, right?
Yeah.
27.
Yeah. Okay.
And we got the keys January 3rd. Right. So you could see how fast this thing worked and moved.
Right.
We end up actually finalized closing on, we set up another one for February 2nd. They had to move it because the buyer, hard money lender, they had to send over the sheets and the documentation for them to finalize on everything. So they end up moving it to January 3rd. 9 a.m., I'm getting a call from the attorney. Hey, Rob, we can't do the assignment because the state of Pennsylvania says assignment, you have to be double taxed. I called the end buyer, talked to him. We agreed upon it. I called Kareem, like, yo, Kareem, we gotta switch the contract up now. Last minute, 9 a.m. Yeah. Closing was at 11 o'clock, people. Yeah. 11 o'clock. Yeah. So you see the nerve. Like these are things that you have to prepare yourself for, that most of these YouTubers do not talk about, is the last minute SH, as I call it. You know what I'm saying? And it could come from anywhere. And now you got to be the liaison between the attorney, the end buyer, and the seller. And the seller, like, what the F is going on? Like, why you keep, you know what I'm saying? So you got to be professional. You got to know how to, wordplay and have, let them know whatever it may be. So end up, you had something? I'm sorry.
We were talking, we actually, you ended up talking to him the night before.
Yes.
So we were honestly dotting our I's, crossing our T's.
Yes.
The night before.
Yes.
And then morning time come.
It's a whole different thing.
Yeah. So,
you gotta be kidding me.
So as you see, guys, man, this wholesaling thing is nerve wracking. But it is a lot of money, and when, as I always say, if you're playing with a lot of money, you got to expect a lot of loops and bounds and curves and obstacles to come with it, and when it does come. But to be honest with you guys, we signed a contract with the seller December 27th. We got the keys January 3rd. We started marketing in January 4th or 5th. We finally signed a contract with the end buyer on, I believe, January 8th. I could go back and double check that date. And we set a tentative closing date for February 4th. Things moved up to February 2nd. We finalized and closed on February 3rd, which we got $11K. And if we could do it,
anybody can do it.
There we go. Mm-hmm. Anybody got a final thing to say to the audience?
Go ahead, Kareem.
Just to provide some specifics on the closing situation. Touching what Rob said about the assignment fee. What we ended up having to do, since our title attorney tells us they can't do an assignment unless we double close it. They said they wouldn't do an assignment. The only thing we can do is double close, and if we did do an assignment, they'll have to tax us twice. Am I right? So what we ended up having to do was we had to get paid outside of closing. So
it's a trust.
Yeah, that's the trust part. So we had to reach out to our end buyer again, and basically have him agree to write us a check, and basically pay us a finder's fee or pay us as a bird dog, outside of closing. And he agreed to it. He gave us the check. So and then we continued to close. I mean, either way, we wouldn't close without the check anyway. Yeah. So he gave us a check, and then we closed, and then that was our assignment fee. Yeah. And
so that works too. So any end remarks for anybody, man? That was well said, and I thank you for putting that in there.
Not a problem, man. Just I don't know. Just get out there and just keep doing it. Just keep hustling. Just keep doing it every day. Just keep putting one foot in front of the other every day. Something's gonna pop. So that's about it.
So my advice, and this is me speaking to everyone, keep going. You don't know until you try.
Yeah.
And don't be afraid.
Yeah.
All right? Or if you are afraid,
just do it while you're afraid.
Right. Because the grass is greener on the other side.
Yes.
And just so we'll be a little transparent, like we speak of. I stepped over a fear again. I made another offer for a property that we were looking at again. It got declined, and it's cool.
Yes.
But at the same time, I still made that offer, and that's what matters.
Exactly. Yeah.
So, and my end remarks for everybody: if you're uncomfortable, be
Be
uncomfortable.
uncomfortable, yeah.
Because it's a lot of money
Yeah.
to be uncomfortable with,
Yeah.
especially if you never had that type of money
Yes.
before in your pockets. So it has to be
It's
uncomfortable.
gonna be uncomfortable.
So it's okay to be there. As you continue growing, it will become immune to you, and it'll be like second nature anyway. So over time, it becomes second nature, and just continue being out there.
Yeah.
Once again, thank you for coming to my channel, our channel, Breaking Bread. Just inspiring y'all. Once again, this is just our opinion, guys. You know, it's nothing, you know, taken away from anybody that's been out there, been in the game a long time. We just wanted to share our perspective, our experience with this. Once again, you know, a lot of YouTubers don't discuss the breakdown and the hiccups and along the way.
Right.
So if y'all have any questions, please just leave it in the comments. You know, definitely would, you know, try to, you know, let you guys know or message you guys back the best way I possibly can. So thank you for coming in to our channel, Breaking Bread. Talk to you guys later.